Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this is the relegation stage of Forge of Champions as Bulldog and Darkspawn.
Where'd he go?
Oh, we kicked him out. I didn't like Rich T. I'm gonna go. I've forgotten what I was saying. But yeah, we have got rid of Chronicler. His opinions on biscuits and cookies was just too much to bear, so we won't be seeing him anymore.
One of my hairs is like flapping around.
I know, I left the aircon on.
It's fine, leave it on. I
It's
don't
nice
mind.
and cool in here.
Maybe we can do that like, slow-mo running, the wind behind us.
I mean, like, my hair is held with too much product right now, so it's just kind of like solid.
Yeah. Anyway, probably need to keep things cool down because we're going to have an intense series coming up. Both of these teams fighting for their life in the UKLC.
All right, well, the wind dies down in the room. The calm before the storm. One of these teams is going home forever.
Well,
One of these teams is going home, and then they get a little bit of a break, and then they come back.
Well, I mean, they're both at home.
Yeah.
Already. Like,
But
they're playing from home, both of these teams, so they're already home.
But they're going. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
One of these teams won't be with us anymore, unfortunately for them, but the other one still has to win.
They'll still be, like, they won't be with the UKLC, but they'll be with us. They'll still be around.
They'll be with, yeah, you know, they'll be in our hearts. They'll be part of, you know, UK Esports. They just won't be here. And by here, I mean at home playing this tournament.
Which we are hosting here.
Here, in London. In a basement somewhere. I haven't seen the sun in days.
They keep me locked in here.
We feed orcs nothing but satsumas.
Which is surprising looking at my figure.
They give them a lot of satsumas.
A lot of satsumas. They're good though.
Yeah. They're like small oranges.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's focus on this goddamn series. All right, what are we expecting coming into this, Orcs?
League of Legends.
Yeah. That last game has fried us.
Yeah, I think Bulldog against Darkspawn. I think Darkspawn played the stronger team in E9, and they also looked a bit more, seemed to have a bit more life. But Bulldog, they've had some great performances in the UKLC. I was hoping to see a bit more of them against Envision. I thought they could take that series. They didn't. So in current form, I think Darkspawn have the advantage, but I feel like there's a reason Bulldog did play slightly higher against Darkspawn, and I'm looking to see these teams both fight and give everything, because one of them has to go, but I want to see at least whichever team goes to put a massive fight, because if it ends up being a 2-0 where both of the games are like that last one, I will not be pleased.
Yeah, I mean, I just noticed that Tibbers is on the floor. I don't know why he's there. Put him up. There we go. Put him back on his chair. Wonderful. Cool. I forgot to put him back after I stole his chair in the last game.
You monster.
I know, I just pushed him off and was like, I'm having a seat. Let's talk a little bit about picks and bans.
Yes.
You know, what are our champs? So obviously we're expecting a lot of comfort for these teams, you know. They want to stay in. They'll probably avoid kind of like meta picks. I mean, obviously meta picks are going to be good for a reason, but I feel like comfort in this kind of game really takes priority over the likes of something like meta, unless it's like strictly busted.
Yeah, I think I want to see Calwood on something strong. I think the Akali, he didn't have as much success when he was up against Envision, but I think that was more from the team collapsing around him. I want to see Darkspawn give their bot lane something that can perform well, and they did that in game 2 against E9, and although they didn't end up winning that game, and they actually had a really bad laning phase in game 2, but I feel like the bot lane of Bulldog aren't going to be as punishing, so give them tools to be aggressive, let them do something in the bot lane for Darkspawn. And then it comes down to, can you get PFI and Vigo ahead? Because I feel like Tolium's champ pool, actually I'm not certain who they're running with top lane. It's Tolium or Ego Speed, but both of them.
I have to check.
We'll check. We'll see when we get into picks and bans. But I feel like they did bring in Tolium after the first game in their last series. And ended up playing the Alawi, which is a bit out there. Did actually do well in lane, but then the team just kind of collapsed around him.
Alrighty, well, we'll have to see how this is going to play out as we are moments away from picks and bans, and that's when we'll start to get a rough idea of how these teams are going to be kind of looking to play, because you got to remember both of these teams went 0-2 to both Brotherhood, and they also went 0-2 to Envision. So with this, you know, they're coming off, both of these teams coming off 0-2. It's not like one was able to sneak one game away from them. They both went 0-2. They both got beaten down. So, you know, they've got to kind of bounce back into today, because this is their last chance. There are no second chances. I mean, it is the best of 3 CF second games, but like this is your last chance series.
And
Like, if you lose this, you're going.
There's so much pressure, and historically in the UK, we haven't had a promotion relegation. We've just had teams re-promote each time into the UK. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on that, and we saw some upsets, some big teams choke their way out of qualification. But I think here, the fact that we have a promotion relegation, these teams, they have a chance to keep themselves in the league, and they are fighting for their lives. And yes, they haven't had the best seasons. I think neither of the teams are happy with how the regular split has gone. But both of them have shown little bits of light, and they need it to come out now, because there are players on the team who I look at and go, they've had some great performances. I think with a bit of coaching, a bit of time, a bit of development, and the right team, they could be a strong player who could potentially shine in the UK. But right now, the teams haven't gelled that well. But still, I just want to see the lights coming out from them. Big players to watch for me on this side of Darkspawn is PFI. Really solid in the jungle. I think when he gets going, he does well. Struggled against E9, but hopefully can find some momentum here. And then for the side of Bulldog, it's got to be Calwood in the mid lane. I think he's one of the more experienced players on the roster, but also just he's had some great Zoe performances. Things like Akali and Aurelia, if he gets his hands on them, I know he can pop off on.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it's really hard to say what's going to kind of come into this game. You know, I don't feel like I have like a clear favorite as well. Both of these teams in the regular season didn't really play to impress, unfortunately. I mean, you look at the likes of Darkspawn, and they did have a rough go of it. I think they had to play Fnatic Rising like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So they definitely had a rough run of the UKLC when Bulldog, you know, they didn't have to fight Fnatic quite as much. But even so, both of these teams were beaten down quite a lot. They only got 1 win apiece, I believe, in the UKLC.
Better than none.
Better than none, to be fair, yeah. But it wasn't enough, you know.
Yeah.
They're sitting here. They're now looking at potentially just completely leaving and having to kind of revise their plans.
The big teller for me is not just the score, but the games they had. Because I remember Bulldog had a very close game against Excel, where Calwood was on his Zoe. I mean, they had comfort across the board. They had Ilaoi for their top laner, Tolium, who's his comfort pick. They had, I believe it was Jin Zhao for their jungler, which was his main. They had Calwood, Zoe. They had Thresh close to bot lane, which was just all the comfort across the board. And they nearly took Excel. But then in the reverse, Darkspawn had a very close couple of games against Fnatic. There were some other ones where they just got stomped, but they did show some life. And that's what I want to see come out in the series, because I know neither of these teams just want to flop over and die. They want to fight for their spot.
All right. Well, like I said, moments away from picks and bans. Unfortunately, just waiting to see what's going to be happening on that. I did get a tweet, by the way. Someone's saying to me that Rich Tea biscuits were like D tier at best. I feel like now you need to do a biscuit.
Look,
we just fight Chronicler over this kind of stuff.
You need to do a biscuit tier list coming out of this.
Oh god, I did a tier list. So I did a Gen 2, no, sorry, not Gen 2. I did a Pokemon like second evolution tier list, and a lot of people loved it. Everyone agreed with it. Second, I did third evolutions. Everyone was like, "This is wrong. I hate you." They just people.
You got the
tier lists are just divisive, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're into picks and bans. It's going to be the Akali and the Hecarim getting banned away so far.
Yeah, they are running with Ego Speed in the top lane for Bulldog, which is what they started with on the last series. Quickly going to ban away that Akali from Calwood, which I think is a smart call. Very proficient on that champion. Morgana following up, and then the Rakan, which Fastleg did play in game 2 of his series. Now, Morgana is a good matchup into it, but I think they read from that ban coming in, they expected the Zyrakan to potentially come out, and they're cutting that away. Aurelia banned away. A lot of these high-skilled champions, they could potentially flex, but also provide a lot of power.
I mean, why I like these actually is because Beely, like his champ pool typically gets really dumpstered by like the Akalis and the Aurelias. He's more of a mage player. He loves the things like the Syndra and player champions like that. So Calwood very capable of playing these champions. So I like the fact that they do choose to ban away the things that, you know, are strong and they're not particularly comfortable playing.
Well, he did play the Aurelia yesterday. It wasn't the greatest performance though. So I will say he is comfortable to pick it up, but it didn't work out quite as he'd hoped. And now I really, really like this. I like the rise coming out. A lot of teams have just ignored this pick. I feel like it's one of the strongest on the patch. The fact you can flex it. And if you think about big things like the Vladimir top lane, which Borelia's had so much success on, Rise can just crush it. So yeah. I think it's a really solid first pick, and I like to see the Darkspawn have gone for it. And now goes over to Bulldog for their first rotation. I feel like it would be a bit of a bold one to take Rise straight into this job, and a lot of success in last series. They're going to lock that in. Now, question is going to be, what do they follow up with? Could go for a flexible solo laner. The Jace is a possibility if you want to pick something that's going to do good in that matchup, or you can put focus on a different lane, potentially the bot. I think taking AD carry wouldn't be too bad here.
Well, they looking to think about what they're looking for in maybe support role here. They are not going to pick at that tank engine. Changes, you know, the grounding, the slow does make it quite hard, but they are going to get themselves the Galio, something we didn't see a lot of priority on that last series, but is incredibly good. One of those top laners, one of those supports we've been seeing quite a lot here in the UK and just in professional play for a while.
Yeah, Galio Jarvan, really strong combo, and especially up against something like the Ryze, who's a mobile. You put the Cataclysm on and you put the Hero's Entrance, there's no way you get out of that. PFI quickly going to lock in that Elise, though, something he did play in the series. Very easy follow-up. A Ryze roots, and then you cocoon after, you can't miss, and a lot of early pressure. All
right, well, a lot of early pressure indeed, as they were thinking about something that Beely does like to play, which kind of doesn't fit in his champ pool. That LeBlanc has been left open, but for the moment, they want to look to layer this CC alongside that Ryze, that Elise. They pick up the Nautilus. There's just so much CC to work with here for Darkspawn. It's scary for
And
Bulldog.
crucially, so much flexibility. I feel like they have the Ryze and the Nautilus, which can go mid for the Nautilus or support. The Ryze can go mid or top. And I feel like Bulldog haven't got as much flexibility, because in theory, yes, you can put the Jarvan top, you can put the Galio mid, but it's not as likely. And Galio Kai'Sa, a very strong lane. It's sort of like the very global lane, because they can both get somewhere very quickly. You have the large range on the Killer Instinct just to jump in and follow up on the engage. So I like the first rotation coming out from Bulldog, but they will quickly ban away that Draven from Flit, not wanting the pressure from his signature pick.
Yeah, with the fact that they've now got themselves the Kai'Sa, they're probably just going to look to pick away some things, but will handle it fairly well. The likes of things like the Sivir as well, if they want to kind of be denied on the push. There's also options like the Lucian that are open. So the question for me is, what are they going to leave open for Flirt? What are they looking to ban away as Darkspawn? I have a little bit more time to think about it, because that Ryze and that Nautilus aren't really set in stone on what lane they're going to right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, personally, something like the Caitlyn, I think, would be all right. It does well into the lane against the Kai'Sa. You can just shove in, and then you also have the trap follow-up on all that CC. And that is actually going to get banned away from Bulldog, so I think that's a good read for them to get rid of that. I don't think you would take the Sivir here, just because the lack of mobility up against the Jarvan and the Galio mean you will be trapped in that cage if they end up using the ultimates. Darkspawn opting to ban away the Aatrox, which you did see Ego Speed play in the top lane. Now I'm going to look at what they're going to take away as well. Remember that Bulldog will have the first pick here. Silas, a pretty good ban away when we expect neither of the solo lanes being picked for Bulldog. And it is one of those strong flexes that we've seen. And that's what they want to do. They want to minimize the flexibility that Bulldog can have on this next pick. Because if they pick a flex here, Darkspawn will have to commit their full comp without knowing which lane that pick is going to go into.
Both of these teams have been very slow on the picks as well. They're really thinking through every step. They know what's on the line as the Kennen gets picked up for Ego Speed in that top lane. So they are definitely sending the Jarvan into the jungle. You did say you'd like to see it more in there.
So Kennen is a pretty safe blind in most circumstances, and that's why they pick him here, because they weren't able to take something that they could flex. The issue is, however, Kennen is not a great matchup into Ryze. You will just get sort of bullied out on that. But the good thing about the Kennen is you can still assist in the team fight. You can still be a massive team fight threat to the backline, but very quickly Flair answers with a Xayah, which offers a level of safety up against all the CC coming in from the side of Bulldog. And now, the last pick, they're going to lock in exactly where that Ryze will go. Personally, I'd like to see Akers on the Ryze, because it's a good matchup into the Kennen, but I feel like it doesn't really fit his champion pool. So we've got to see what he wants to secure for him. We will go for that Ornn. So a lot of scaling, a lot of engage on that champion, but it doesn't mean he's going to get bullied around by that Kennen.
Yeah, and you expect Ego Speed to take the Kleptomancy as well, so he's just going to free farm off him, as Bulldog now looking to round out their comp. They're looking for, most likely, their mid laner here is having a little play around. The cat he's just playing with us for the moment. We'll see what they decide to actually finalize and lock in as their mid laner. It's going to be a Azir for Coward.
Makes a lot of sense to me. They have a lot of engage, a ton of damage. But crucially,
is Beely playing the Nautilus in... support. Yes, cool. It's going to be... for a minute, I was like, is it Ornn support? I got completely thrown there.
Right.
Look,
anyway,
I do it from time to time, all right?
Anyway, so a lot of great engage from the side of Bulldog when you have a mobile carries on Darkspawn, that Ryze, that Xayah. Yes, Xayah can ult become untargetable, but you can't move outside of Cataclysm. And then also the huge backline damage off the Azir and the Kai'Sa, there is a lot of scaling, a lot of engagement, a lot of tools for the side of Bulldog. Darkspawn, on the other hand, I feel like they're going to struggle in pressure pretty heavily, top and mid. They have that Elise who's going to provide gank pressure, but I mean, Azir does beat Ryze in an isolated 1v1. Kennen is going to shove in that Ornn in an isolated 1v1. The only sort of place where they have a bit more strength is in that bot lane. But even so, I have concerns for the early pressure that Darkspawn are giving themselves, because you have an Elise, you want to make things happen early, but if both your mid and top are getting shoved in and are chunked out, there might not be that much you can do.
I mean, I look at like the team fighting as well available to them. When you layer in just so much like CC, you have the Nautilus, you can just hard engage with the depth charge. You just have all of the follow-up available with the fact that they got the Ornn as well to actually initialize these fights and start them up. There's so much team fighting prowess picked up for the side of Darkspawn, but I do worry for Bulldog.
I mean, I would personally say that I rate the team fighting prowess of Bulldog more. I think the fact that they have a Ryze means in theory they could 1-3-1, but the problem is the Ornn really sucks in the side lane, whereas the Kennen will be able to hold his own. I think what might end up happening is they send the Ryze into a side lane and have a 4-1, and the Ryze should be a pretty solid matchup if he gets farmed up into the Kennen. You can apply pressure, but even so, I don't think it's going to be sort of like you can definitely win the game off this. I think that Bulldog, personally, I think they've drafted a better composition for themselves. I think it's more well-rounded, it does more things, there's easier tools to execute on. Really, it's going to come down to, can PFI find pressure when his mid and top should get shoved in on these matchups?
Well, we take to the Summoner's Rift one more time for our second best of 3 series. This is a big one. This is relegations. Bulldog or Darkspawn are on the edge of being knocked out of the summer season of the UKLC. And I wonder if Kennen is going to go... sorry, Ego Speed is going to go that like attack speed Kennen, but he's gone the Kleptomancy, so hasn't revealed too much here. But if he wants to go like full split push, he can go for that attack speed Kennen. We saw it last week as well, getting picked up with a press the attack Kennen, but the fact he's into Ornn, he wants to get the Klepto.
Yeah, I mean, you'd go Klepto cold into Ornn just because it means that you're going to get that extra gold generation in essentially a free lane matchup. We don't know for certain if he's going to go more the AP or AD build at this point. AD would help with split pushing, but honestly, I prefer the AP build because I think the presence you have in teamfights as Bulldog is huge. Look at the backline of Darkspawn. You have that Ryze, you have that Kai'Sa. If you get the Kennen, Jarv, and Galio just jumping down on them, it's going to be so difficult to deal with. And crucially, Koki can follow up with Killer Instinct, and Calwood has so much range on this Azir. I feel like Darkspawn late game for the 5v5s are really going to struggle. They need to get momentum going early and apply side lane pressure with this Ryze.
All right, well, red buff start a piece here for both of these junglers. So I'm going to pick these up.
Yeah, we'll start on the more heavy XP side of the map. Interestingly, Canal going for the red and then heading straight over to the blue buff off PFI. But PFI is doing a similar move, but heading over to his own blue buff. So level 2 Jarvan might end up meeting this Elise, but actually Elise is going for his wall cam, so isn't aware that his blue is being stolen away.
He placed that ward over the wall as well, so he will see him. As PFI slow to react here, blue buff will get picked up by Cornel, but if he greeds, this might just be a little bit of problems as he's just used the flag and drag. PFI spots him out, but actually didn't spot him out as Cornel looking to run away. PFI now level 2, doesn't have that cocoon available, and Cornel with the double buff still doesn't want to take that fight because he's getting collapsed on all fronts, and the knock-up not going to find its mark. Cornel gets himself a very cheeky blue buff steal and denies PFI a lot.
You got to absolutely take that. You deny the blue from the Elise, so she's going to be hurting a bit in terms of mana regen, especially as Elise opted to start this machete. It is the normal buy for Elise, but it does lack the mana regen of the talisman, so going to be a bit sparse in that regard. Now, PFI will head towards his red side. He still has 2 major camps there, the Krogs and the Raptors, which give a ton of XP. That should get him to that level 3 point at least, and then he'll be able to take that skull.
Good hook as Koki takes some serious damage.
And that is just why you pick Nautilus, because that was literally only fast leg and he half HP's Koki. That is the strength for Darkspawn. Their bot lane is a solid matchup. They can do a lot of work there. The rest of the map is where I have concerns, but to be honest, Akers is just putting a lot of pain into Ego Speed in this matchup.
Ego did get himself a sack of gold from that, though. He's got some pots to work with. He's got the coal. He just wants to sustain and just farm up a treat in this lane.
Yeah, absolutely. The scaling is going to be the big one here for the Kennen. Just going to be a monster in those team fights if he does go that AP build. PFI now waiting in that brush, running to find an opportunity to make a gank. Pings come out. I believe he did get spotted off camera, so he will just back away.
Well, Cornel now picks himself the blue buff up. He's going to get himself a crab. PFI actually on this side of the map, so he's not even going to be able to trade crab for crab. If Cornel plays this right, they might just spot PFI out on the ward as they see the ward get placed and they know roughly where PFI is at this point, and he's going to run towards his side of the map. But Cornel just warding up PFI early. And this is one of the things about Elise is a jungler who likes to play for the early game. It's her main strength is the early combos, the pressure you can assert into lanes, but denying this so hard from PFI could be big, as now they're looking to go in. A good flag drag combo with the two-man taunt is going to be enough as they get the teleport down. First blood picked up for Koki. The teleport by Beely is going to complete those. He's looking to go onto the cat. PFI finds himself a kill onto Ego Speed, and it's a 1-for-1 globally.
Yeah, good gank coming out from Bulldog. Canal finds the flank, and then the cat with the flash taunt. No way that flirt gets out. Beely ends up using his TP, but essentially for nothing. We'll see that play on the top side. And Ego Speed just getting chunked out in this matchup. Not respecting the Ornn's pretty high base damages. And Elise comes in, flashes, but still gets hit by the cocoon. Really great play from PFI, but also a bit of a mistake from Ego Speed.
Ego Speed's really getting smashed in this matchup, and we thought, you know, the Kennen should just be able to play nice and comfortable, nice and safe here. Just farm away, but
I think the Ornn's base damages are coming in pretty huge. I think the thing is that Ego Speed is just hoping to farm up, and at this point, you know, the Ornn isn't giving you that space, because Ornn has early level base damages to deal with like heavy bruises. So I think Ego Speed is just trying to trade too aggressively to get the Klepto stacks, and that's what's really costing him.
The cat's making his way down, back to join up with Koki in the spot lane. As Koki's actually gone for the tier as well, so is that Manamune build?
I love to see it.
You're on double dagger as well, so actually maybe looking to finish up the Rage Blade before getting the Manamune.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting pickup. I think he just wants as much combat stats as he can get now. Personally, I would have gone for Boots Dagger, because that could have built in your Berserker Greaves before having to commit to building your second item. But either way, Koki will be going that Manamune build. And the advantage as well it has in lane is you will have a big mana pool to work with to help you shove. Beely flashes away from the combo. The Streamer Shuffle did come in from Calward. And in the end, they do get a flash for their trouble.
You can see they're fishing for these plays. They're trying to see if they can find something out. As Cornel's just being very proactive on the map, trying to deny PFI as much as possible. But PFI, with that gank in the top lane, has been able to kind of pull back some of this deficit that he was experiencing from the jungle difference. So good response play so far coming out from PFI to this early attention. As they're pushing in here. On to the cat and Koki in this bot lane. The CS relatively even, and with this wave, Koki should be able to come out on top. The flash not available on the cat, so they are playing with a little bit of respect towards that, but Blur, no flash, no heal. Fast leg, also no flash. So maybe, just maybe, we see some kind of attention from Cornel coming into this lane as he has flash. He has the ability to make these plays happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you want to do. You made that initial gank. The summoner's down. You want to make the gank again. But PFI is looking towards the top side. Both junglers are in the area. Something may go down here, but Kunal is currently channeling his recall. PFI not an award. Is potentially going to look for a gank. Remember, Slicing Maelstrom is available for that Kennen.
In comes the Ornn Horn. PFI might just be looking up. Throws down the Slicing Maelstrom. Just ult for ult top lane. PFI doesn't burn a thing.
Yeah, and you got to take that, though. The Ornn Horn, I'd argue, less useful than the Cannon ult. That Cannon ult can be absolutely devastating. It becomes a fairly easy dive without that. But for now, PFI will back off, head towards this blue buff. And Akka's using the Summoner Spellbook, so has switched to that Ignite.
Yeah, with the Spellbook is able to get himself some extra stats. And now Cornel maybe just looking to start up this Ocean Drake. Nice and early with Koki and the cat. Gonna be able to pick this up, and this just will be nice for some of those lane stats we were talking about. When Ego Speed's been kind of getting poked down and dealt with by Akka's quite whole-handedly, picking this up will be nice for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely helps, especially when you have that tier coming out. and for the Azir, the extra mana gen, never going to complain about that one.
And the key thing is it forces up the next Drake, which is going to be an Infernal Drake, which is going to be a more impactful Drake, which if Bulldogs can get their control over, will look to try and get their hands on. But PFI once again now on a pink ward, looking to see if he can find something onto Ego Speed. All of the Forge God not going to be available quite yet. Ego Speed closing in on that Slicing Maelstrom, so if they want to make this dive happen, they need to make it happen soon. But Ego Speed does now spot PFI out on that ward.
Yeah, so he should be able to back up. Remember, with no Slicing Maelstrom, no flash, you have to be very careful. The risk of a dive is huge, and Aki's just going to pick up a couple of plates here, essentially for free. On the side of the map, Calwood will get past that blue buff. And crucially, PFI missed his first blue, did opt to take that second. So Beely not getting that second blue buff is now recalling. Gonna have a bit more mana issues than that Azir.
I like this actually. We're seeing them rotate multiple members into this top side. They want to just go for the lane swap. Koki will join up with this wave. But the base from Darkspawn also came through, so Flirt and Fastleg are going to be about as well. So they looking like they're just going to match them.
Which I think is the right call. The Dragon's off the table. The focus is this Rift Herald. Both these teams showing that they have pretty solid understanding of macro, how the map should be played from their time in the UKLC. Right now, things slightly in favor of Bulldog. But remember, with the Kleptomancy from Kennen, the goal does get skewed a little bit. Things are still very close.
Gold lead 1,000 ahead for Bulldog for the moment, but it's still fairly close. Koki actually finished up the Mirror Mana. Now Quinil looking for a potential dive with Coward at his back. The pink ward placed down, and now Darkspawn step away. They don't want to commit. They don't want to get caught underneath this tower as PFI is hanging about. But watch out for Fastleg. Quinil still waited and bought his time onto Fastleg. They get a lot of damage into the Cataclysm. Now the teleport into all of the ultis. In comes the heroic entrance, and the Cat might just get caught out as Fastleg finds himself the kill. The Slicing Maelstrom by Ego Speed is just so big. But the 3-man knockout comes in, but they find themselves the taunt. They find themselves the damage. Koki goes down, and Darkspawn are running away with the fight. Beely looks to chase down Ego Speed, brings 2 members. The Blast Cone comes over, and Ego Speed will fall down. PFI will not die today, and Darkspawn come up massive.
Just a massive team fight win. I thought when the Slice and Maelstrom came in, that would be enough, but the Ornal was such a powerhouse, and crucially, Darkspawn, with the early game composition, found all the CC. The constant lockdown, the constant cocoons, and the route from the Rise meant that just there was no space. I thought at the end, when Koki Killer Instinct in, he would have been able to clean up, but he gets locked down, he gets taken out, and Darkspawn pulling ahead in this game.
And with that, they've gone from the 1,000 gold deficit to 1,000 gold up. Sorry, 500 gold up, 400 gold up. Maths are good for me right now. We've been able to pull this game back. We're still at that 11-minute mark, so these plates are to play for. This Rift Herald is to play for. Darkspawn will be able to pick up this crab around this area, but now Cornell maybe spots out Fastleg. The red line has already been used, and now PFI standing on a ward, doesn't realize he's on it, gets flagged, dragged, knocked up, and Koki looking to chase. The repel gets used, and now Fastleg trying to get himself in, but the taunt is just way too much, and the shutdown for Quinil.
Yeah, just didn't have the vision control they thought they did. PFI ends up getting caught out because he thought he was able to get the play on the Canal, but Canal, very confident, has the vision, finds the kill, shut down as well, and now will take that Rift Herald, getting back in control of this game. Both these teams are just fighting for this neck and neck.
Well, you know how much is on the line. This best of 3 determines your future as a team. It's so big, and Rift Herald gets picked up by Bulldog, but they try to siege into the mid lane. They do need to be careful though, because Rift Herald's going to get used in this top side, and they're looking to funnel a lot of gold onto Koki.
That's a lot of plates that will come in. Remember, the Jarvan E gives a ton of attack speed.
Come on, give it all over to Koki. That's what you want. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
That's what you like to see.
That's the play. This is so big for Koki. He gets so much gold off this.
320 gold from those 2 plates. A massive influx, and has picked up the mana immune. Will be stacking it up. Should have the evolved Q pretty soon once he just gets a bit more mana to stack it. And crucially is heading towards that Rage Blade. It is a massive power spike.
With the Berserkers, with the Rage Blade. Is this enough for him to get the attack speed steroid
No.
on Supercharge? No.
Because crucially, the reason you get it a bit sooner with the Storm Razor build, because the Storm Razor gives attack speed.
Yes, you're right.
So when he finishes the Rage Blade, and then he'll want to get the Stinger, if he's going the preferred AP build, the Stinger part of the Nashers, that will give him the upgrade. I don't think you need the full Stinger, probably just a couple of daggers, but that's what you will need to get that second upgrade. And then, obviously, the full Nash's Tooth gives you the AP upgrade, and Bob's your uncle.
Alrighty, well, Bob's your uncle indeed. Infernal Drake gets picked up here for Bulldogs. No tower has gone down yet. The plates are about to fall off, and Flirt just about picks up the last few plates there.
Yeah,
And now they're sending members into this mid lane, and mid lane might just be cracked here, which is big for Bulldogs. Opens up the map a lot for them.
Yeah, they're looking for Beely. He has to be a bit careful here from the engage. They will answer tower for tower. Extra bit of gold going over the Darkspawn because of that first tower blood, and also getting the plates before they fell down. So a little bit of a gold advantage, just 500 for Darkspawn, but remember, you have that Infernal to Bulldog, and so much scaling you got to feel with that Kai'Sa, with that Azir. It's not clear cut. Still a lot of powerful champs going later in the game. Ryzen, Xayah, nothing to complain about in the later stages, especially with an Ornn able to upgrade their items.
But they do hold on to this mid lane. They've got that Azir, which is going to be key for the amount of wave clear they have. Just offers so much clear with those Sand Soldiers. You just cut through those.
Okay, so I wasn't completely certain because I haven't seen this matchup tons. So I asked my friend Fnatic Rising Shikari how the Kennen Ornn matchup goes. Because maybe I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've missed something. And he responded, Kennen hard wins. So...
And this guy plays a lot of Kennen.
Yeah, he plays a lot of Kennen, so it seems like Akka is just finding his footing in this matchup, outskilling Ego Speed despite being on unfavorable terms.
Now, I've been following Akkas for quite a while now. Across a lot of, like, back when I was doing amateur leagues as a caster, he was playing in them as well. So it's always interesting, actually, to see, like, back then he was a player who was one of the top laners in those leagues. So, you know, he's a very capable player. He's completely smashing Ego Speed. As Ego Speed's able to dodge away, but getting knocked up by this as they do find themselves the Slicing Maelstrom forced out, and Ego Speed's running low. Darkspawn should just be able to pick up this turret.
Yeah, pretty easy for them to get, and there's not much that Bulldog can do in return. They will just have to give this one up, and Darkspawn's shown some life off this top lane matchup that's gone so well for them.
Well, the turret goes down, but meanwhile, Coward is working away onto this top lane turret as well. So the trading turret for turret, blow for blow every time, and this gold lead, neck and neck, just 1k gold in favor of Darkspawn for the moment. And a lot of that comes off these CS leads, mainly in the top lane. And by CS lead, it's only the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, that is a pretty massive CS lead, especially when, as I was just told, this is a winning matchup for Kennen, so Ego Speed not having the lane in face. And in fairness, PFI did put some pressure down there. But that remains to be seen. Gold lead for Darkspawn at the moment. But still, we have 2 dragons over the Bulldog. And there's a lot of concerns when that Kai'Sa comes online. She has that Mirror Mana, she has that Rage Blade. But the cat caught out here, does have the flash.
Does flash away, Justice punches to safety as well. He is A-OK. But the siege is starting up by Flirt. Cornel comes in to clear out the wave. They have a Void Seeker as well, so they're able to clear out this wave nice and simple.
Absolutely, and Darkspawn getting control of this game. They're starting to establish vision. Look for these picks that the comp lens do so well. Your Mana CC coming out from the Elise, the Nautilus, and the Rise. It's very easy targeted lockdown initiation with that Rise route, with that ult from the Nautilus, and then the follow-up is so good, but Engage comes in from Cornel.
Cornel does instantly get cocooned, though. There's going to be no follow-up here for Bulldogs.
Crucially does burn double flash from the bot lane as a Darkspawn, so yes, they don't find anything, but those summoners could be crucial, especially when that Cataclysm becomes available again.
All right, well, 18 minutes on the clock here. Darkspawn. Still 900 gold up. It's so close. It's so... One big fight will turn this game in favor of either team, but neither team's really willing to give too much up here. Now that Cataclysm down, the engage for Bulldogs is a little bit harder to find. They need that to be able to kind of get the Demacian Death Bowl combo off.
Absolutely. I think a little bit more time. They want that fully stacked Mirror Mana on the Kai'Sa. They want that Evolved E so she has a bit more kite ability to dodge away from this CC on Darkspawn. That is what you're waiting for before the Bulldog comp really comes online. Merc treads across the board. You can see a lot of members knowing the concern from Darkspawn is their CC. The only exception is the Kai'Sa obviously needs that attack speed for her evolutions. But the rest of the team not wanting to get locked down for too long, because if one lands and another lands and another lands, right now they're going to try and get this Cloud Dragon. All Dragon's been going over to Bulldog. At least isn't that close, but they will manage to force them away. And now is where we're starting to see the 4-1 come out. Beely in that side lane, but crucially does not have teleport. So there's no way he joins this fight quickly.
Look, checks it out for the moment, but they are just going to give over this Cloud Drake. Yeah, they've got themselves the Infernal, the Cloud, and the Ocean to work with. 3 Drakes for Bulldogs. They are in control of this objective, at least.
Crucially, Beely's been farming up a Storm, and they're putting him in a side lane matchup against the Kennen. And he will hard win that matchup, and that's where they're finding the pressure from that 4-1. PFI needs to move up and does to cover him, stop him from getting punished. But in return, Calwood is able to push on the opposite side of the map, and both these mid laners very farmed up, very strong in their current position, especially when you compare them to the top laners who are sizable amounts behind.
Well, the wave's getting shoved in here for Darkspawn. They're working away on this tier 2 turret.
They should just be able to get this one for free. Bulldog might look for an engage coming out of this to stop them, but in the end, they will just clear up those waves. Ak is now level 13. Crucially can upgrade his Abyssal Mask into the Infernal Mask, I believe it is.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's Infernal.
Yep, and obviously later in the game, we'll start being able to offer upgrades to his teammates. Now, I feel like Bulldog do have a pretty strong scaling, but Canal caught out right now.
They have a lot of pick to work with. The Cat gets himself a 2-man talk. Cornel gets healed up. Now Koki trying to get that flank off for the team, but they're unable to find more Ego Speed on the flank. That's going to be the Void Seeker forcing the flash out from PFI and Bulldog. They might have got engaged onto, but they were able to turn it around.
Yeah, the Kennen was a big turning point. Ego Speed making sure he was there when Akers wasn't. PFI having to flash away from the potential engage of that slicing Maelstrom. They will get a bit of pressure, some control around this Baron area, but overall, no one dies for either side. In a very controlled game now from these two teams. And actually, Koki going towards the build we saw earlier from Den Voxney, which is the sort of more crit follow-up build.
I like it.
I prefer the AP build. I won't lie. I prefer the...
I mean, actually, when I look at their comp, actually, they've got Fast Leg, they've got Akkers. So actually having the AP build does mean you can cut through those tanks a little bit more efficiently.
The poke is insane on it as well. Like your W, because your W applies the mirror mana, and also the AP scales with it so well, you can actually just pop people from a long distance. So, but I guess he's wanting to go for more auto attack based damage, less reliant on the passive and more able to burst people. Fastleg could actually be in trouble here.
Yeah, they find themselves the dunk off.
No
in
flash.
comes the Demacian Death Bowl. Featherstorm's going to go down, but they find themselves a root. That's going to be 2 kills. Picked up for Bulldog, and Darkspawn are scattered to the wind.
And look at the timers on Flirt and Fastleg's flash. Before Canal went for the engage, he got those summoner spells, and he makes the play again just as they're about to come up. They get both the kills. They are looking towards the Baron, but with low health bars, this could be a bit risky. Remember how strong Beely is.
It's risky, but it's fast with the Kai'Sa and that Azir, but health bars alone. Kyle comes in with a flash. The Shroom is shuffled onto one. PFI uses the repel. Coward's low HP. The slicing Maelstrom. They find themselves a 1-for-1, and Beely remains full HP. Now they jump in with the killer instinct to get that damage down. Koki gets a shutdown. And Bulldog just walk over Darkspawn.
Operation is a success from Darkspawn, though. They managed to get them off the Baron. They lose a bunch of members, and it's not a good play for them, but at least Bulldog do not have that Nashor in their hands. Crucially, though, look at the items coming out. We have that fully stacked mirror mana from the Kai'Sa. Rabadons for Calwood on this Azir. So strong right now, and you can definitely feel like the Elise is getting a bit outscaled. They do come in here, and crucially, they don't want to risk the 50-50, so Ego Speed, I actually really like this plan. He goes for the flank, but the Streamer Shuffle does not connect on the Beely. He manages to flash out and buy time, and then PFI can kill Calwood, and then Beely, he tries to make the miracle play like Caps did at MSI, but gets shut down, and the stun from Ego Speed will take him out the fight, will take him out the game.
Well, they're grouping up once again around this Baron here. Darkspawn do not want to give this sneak over. They know how quick Coward and how quick Koki will be able to take this objective. It isn't the attack speed is here, so it's a little bit slower, but even so, he's still going to be able to cut through this objective. The Hurricane has now been finished up onto Koki. He's got 3 items, got that crit build on the way.
Yeah, and the thing is with the Runans, you're going to be able to spread the AoE. So much damage coming out from that Rage Blade, from that Man Immune.
Akers needs to be careful here. Take a little bit of damage, but he can sustain up nice and comfortably. Got that Infernal Mask. One of the things you can talk about is the scaling the Darkspawn have, purely because of the fact that they get an extra half item, basically, over Bulldog at 6 items, but I mean, the meta just doesn't get to 6 items very often anymore.
My concern is just the power of the picks like the Azir, like the Kai'Sa, and the team fighting capability. Ego Speed has that TP. If he comes in for a flank, it can be devastating. The Flash is now available for Flirt and Fastleg. That's something that does make me a bit less concerned, and happy to see PFI pick up that Infernal Dragon, balance out the 8% AD and AP.
They're quick to turn onto the Baron after they see that Infernal Drake goes down, but Flirt and Beely are going to join up with the rest of their team. 9k HPs. The base is coming forward for Ego Speed. There's a ward for him to teleport to, and Bulldog are taking way too much damage here.
This is, you can tell from the way Bulldog are doing it, they were not hard committing to the Baron. They wanted Darkspawn to challenge them. It was a very non-committal Baron. They were going very slow, not committing too much damage, and as a result, Darkspawn were not even phased. Beely doesn't need a TP in. They just push up mid, and now they will move over to the Baron area and get vision control.
I tell you, they might just look to try and start this up. Akers is already aggroing up the Baron. They've cleared out all of the wards. They have that flag to give themselves some vision here from Cornel, but 10k HP onto the Baron, and Bulldog are looking to go for the commit. They've got that Damartian Death Bowl. They've got the combo. The Featherstorm comes out. The knock-up, not going to land onto anyone but Ego Speed with a 2-man ulti. Locks everybody on Darkspawn down. Bulldogs fight free.
Yeah, and Beely TP's mid. He was not there for a fight. The engage comes in for Bulldog, and they are missing their most fed member on Darkspawn. The Baron's going to get pummeled down, and there is no way Darkspawn contests this.
This Baron is melted through here by Bulldogs. They're looking to get themselves a base off. However, in the meantime, there's a bit of a siege getting started up here by Beely.
Yeah, so we will get to see a replay of that, and Darkspawn have control, but crucially, the coordination wasn't there. Beely doesn't have a good ward to TP into. There isn't a flank. He isn't comfortable doing that on the rise. Kunal makes a great engage here, catches 3, and although 2 of them flash out, PFI and Akers get caught in that slice of Maelstrom, take so much damage, and then it's easy follow-up. Koki goes straight in on Flirt. The knock-up comes in from Jarvan, and Quinel play this team fight beautifully to punish Darkspawn. And now with the Baron, they're going to continue this trend.
Well, with 26 minutes on the clock, it looks like Bulldog are looking to barrel in and try and close this game out. Sieging up onto that turret for the moment. They're playing with respect, though. They know that there is still the potential for Beely to find that kind of big miracle flank on the rise. The engage from Akers could spell their doom, so they're stepping away. Quinel takes a cocoon to the face. Fast leg throws out the dredge line, but it doesn't find its mark.
Yeah, Mictred's coming in huge here, reducing the amount of CC that is able to be laid onto Quinel. They just need to weather the storm with this Baron, because right now Beely isn't able to offer much split pressure when these Baron waves are shoving into them. And crucially, I feel like in a team fight, unless they get the advantage of a tower pummeling into members of Bulldogs, Darkspawn are really going to struggle, because Kennen, Galio, Jarvan is such a strong team fight combo.
Oh, the turret gets cracked. Bulldogs grouping up. PFI throws out the cocoon, but it doesn't find its mark. And
a lot of damage from, remember the W from Kai'Sa does proc that mirror mana when it connects. So you see, puts a lot of damage into Flair when it connects.
Now Beely's having to deal with Coward's siege on this Azir. Coward doing some serious damage to the tower as he also looks to put a bit of poke onto Beely. These turrets are being sieged up here, and it looks like Bulldog might just be looking to close this game out with this Baron, with this siege. They're able to crack one turret. They're able to crack a second one shortly after. The inhibitor will go down.
Now we'll look towards that mid inhibitor. There's very little Darkspawn can do. They have great single target CC, but there's so many targets that are scared up on the side of Bulldog. They look for ego speed with that hook. It doesn't connect. And now they're going to try and force, but Ego Speed goes in with a big ult.
They get everybody with a big wombo combo. Cat's going to go in as Koki finds one. It's a 1-for-1 trade so far. In comes the shuffle. In comes the double kill. On to the Kaiser. Make it a triple kill as Beely's going golden. They're trying to get that damage down, but they do find themselves a shutdown. Beely jumping out as they get themselves a kill. Hackers somehow turns the fight as Cat gets the taunt, the flag, the drag, the justice punch into the tower shot. Hackers comes up with a double kill. Darkspawn, they are not done yet.
Akers and Beely played miracles in that fight. They did so much for their team. Beely survived for so long. That stopwatch was clutch, and they just pumped damage back into them. Bulldog overcommit, and they end up paying for it with their lives. A huge ton of shutdowns will have gone over back to Darkspawn, but still, 4K down. Base is still in a rough position, but they managed to clear off the Baron buff, and the game is not over yet.
Oh, lordy, lordy. We are not done. Darkspawn are not done. However, it's going to be hard.
Next.
This is going to be the big thing, actually. Double Infernal could just be enough for someone like Beely to really pump out that damage.
And look at those items on Azir. I'm sure he would love to get a second Infernal.
I think Koki as well, with the Infinity Edge now being finished up after getting that triple kill, and it looks like they're just going to give up this Infernal. They don't want to risk it. They know that if they lose a bad fight here, they lose this game 1. So quite content just to give up the second Infernal Drake and hope and pray that they can find that miracle moment.
Yeah, people value the Infernals a lot, and yes, those extra stats are going to come in huge, but crucially, a lot of it is about how the team fight plays out. Sometimes the extra AD and AP won't be the crucial thing, but if they overcommit to a team fight there, they will lose. But Beely finding the 1v1 with the Ego Speed forces Yolt, and that's a massive team fighting tool down. He will Valmorp out, and that has to be a massive win for Darkspawn. Getting rid of that Kennen ult is huge for reducing the effectiveness of Bulldog's team fight, and Beely so much wave clear on this rise. Engage is now coming in.
No, Koki dodges away. The supercharge is not enough. In comes the damage, and PFI finds the kill.
No flash meant Koki was not escaping. A great ult from Akers pins him down, and Darkspawn constantly putting a fight back in this game. And you got to know why, because this is to stay in the UKLC, and neither team wants to give it up without a fight.
30 minutes on the clock, and this gold lead is now pulling back. Look at these AD carries. Koki does have a lead over Flirt, but mid lane dead even.
Yeah, and that's the big talking point, is Beely has farmed up a Storm in this rise. And if they don't kill him, he can just pump out tons of damage.
He's got the Death Crown.
Yeah, look at all those upgrade items. Everyone but Fastleg has an upgrade item.
You got
so
the
far.
Molten Edge. As PFI actually is taking a fair amount of damage, has to use the repel. Ego Speed looks to chase down onto him. This Baron buff is spawning up in a second.
That Blast Cone just saved the game for Darkspawn. It gave something for him to repel down to, so he was able to get out. He will recall now and get some HP, but Bulldog have absolute control of this Baron area, and the Kennen ult is coming back up soon. But no way they can just avoid that in a team fight. Now, Darkspawn do have level advantages on Flirt. Do have level advantage on Akers. There is some good points, but behind in gold, and Bulldog going to start up that Baron. Scrynorb calls it out.
He gets spotted out for the moment. It's half HP. Ego Speed's on that flank. He's trying to see if he can get there. They're going to secure themselves the Baron, and Darkspawn are just forced to step away. Ego's chasing in. They get themselves the Demacian Death Bolt combo off into the Featherstorm. The flash away by Flirt. Now in comes the Call of the Forge God. They're looking to turn the fight. A knock-up only lands onto one. Fastleg unable to join into the fray, but watch for Beely. He's on that flank, and Cornel is forced to flash away. The soldier's doing a lot, and Beely instantly deletes out Ego Speed. Coward finds himself a kill, and Flirt is going to go golden, trying to get that damage out, but PFI tries to get the chase down. As look onto Beely, he's working through Cat. He's trying to get the kill onto the support, but somehow we still see Bulldogs are the team to come up ahead in this fight. Beely has to do a miracle, has to go 1v3 versus all of Bulldogs. He's just clearing the wave out, slowing down their team as Flirt is going back to base, healing, spending the gold. The base is coming forward for Beely, and he's looking to join up 2v3. Darkspawn have to win win to hold out.
Yeah, the advantage is the jungler for Bulldogs. They're going to try and make this play, but Beanie has to watch out.
Quinil gets himself a flag and dragon. The double turrets are doing a lot of damage. Quinil is going to hold his life for the moment. Though for the turrets are down. The Nexus is being focused. They're trying to clear out the minions as Coward is onto the Nexus. He's not going to do it. The inhibs have respawned and Beely is able to find the kill. The mid lane inhibitor will fall here and Bulldogs don't close the game. Once again, Darkspawn hold on to the game.
By the skin of their teeth, Darkspawn managed to keep themselves in this game. The base was falling apart, but the inhibitors came in clutch, and Beely was a monster on this rise. Despite the 2 and 9 bot lane, despite his team falling around behind him, Beely is being monstrous on this blue man.
Oh. It looks like Flirt's able to do so much, but actually he's 1 and 5. Like, in these fights, I've been following him so much, but he is just getting focused out by all the Bulldogs. Completely denied, and this might just be them trying to look for that final push. They've still got Baron to work with. They've still got one wave of super minions, but...
And crucially as well, Flirt has no flash now. His flash has been crucial. Whenever they've had it, he's able to get out the Cataclysm. He stands a fighting chance. Without it, if he's out of position, if he gets ulted by Quinal, he just dies. There is no way you get away.
They got that Justice Punch. Sorry, Hero's Entrance. They've got the Cataclysm. Actually, Hero's Entrance is coming up in a second. It's not quite available, but with the QSS now onto Koki, that CC chain I was talking about becomes even harder to land. And everyone else has Merc Treads. So they also have a lot of ways to negate some of the CC. Lots of extra tenacity to work with here.
I mean, I'm just going to say at this point, PFI is just not that useful. He did so much by trying to find space with a repel, with his Zhonya's trying to execute low HP people, but he's at least at 35 minutes. He is not the champ you want to be playing, and compare how much impact Quinal is having on these team fights to the least. He just feels like he's a non-factor, but the big factors here are Beely on this rise. Ak is creating so much space, and crucially Flirt on this Xayah, pumping out damage when he can. He has to be careful. If that Cataclysm comes in on him, he is not getting out.
I've said do or die before, and that's the 4-man Cataclysm. That's the wombo combo. Beely is alive for the moment, trying to get the damage on the Ego Speed, but he misses out on the Q, trying to get the resets, trying to get the bounce around as they found themselves 2 already. A double kill has been picked up for Coward. Beely deletes Ego Speed as a 2-man knocker comes in. Beely's trying to get the damage on the Coward, but he goes golden. Flirt has to find the assassination off as they do get it. The cat gets interrupted, and once again, Darkspawn do it. They come up, and Beely holds the game with Flirt and Akers alive.
And crucially, Flirt just survives. That Vam Scepter he picked up, giving him the lifesteal to out-heal the Ignite. He survives the damage coming out from the cat. They managed to win the team fight. Beely playing like a god in this game so far, untouched in that fight.
Oh my lord, Orcs. They're actually just running it down mid right now. They've got that Realm Warp, so they can kind of over-greedily commit for these turrets if they want to.
They get Inhibitor. I don't think they can end the game. There's no way. The spawn timers are coming up too soon. They might even just settle for the Inhibitor tower and head towards that Cloud Dragon. Got to be careful here. The Realm Warp does mean they can get away quickly, but Koki is up. Might look to snipe.
HP as well. The Void Seeker gets blocked out by the minion. This will be the inhibit. Like I said, they've got that Realm Warp to work with. They're going to be able to piece out nice and safe. And Darkspawn somehow holding on to this game. I mean, somehow by the skin of their teeth.
Beely is monstrous. Beely and Akers are solo laners. It's all so hard to kill this super tanky Ornn. Even with all the sustained damage coming out from Bulldogs and Beely, he's just perfectly playing this. He manages to be on the backline in so many scenarios, but crucially, his flash is down now, and Flirt, it may be back up, but if Beely gets trapped inside that Cataclysm, things could go very badly.
Well, that's exactly what happened last time. Beely insta-flashed out.
Quinal's been an absolute monster getting that 4-man Cataclysm in that fight, making the effectiveness of his champion felt. And I said one of the players to watch on Darkspawn was this Elise for PFI, but really in these later stages, Quinal is making his worth known.
Well, this Baron is going to be spawning up, and you feel this is the final straw for both of these teams. Open Nexus for Darkspawn. They have to deal with the minions, but they have to deal with the Baron, because if that gets picked up, might have to hold that fort though, because they're going in for the Cataclysm onto Flirt. He does have that flash. He pulls it out. They find themselves a cocoon. Ego Speed. His ultimate just does nothing. They're teleporting in, and now Looks like Bulldog are just being forced away.
This is a fight you want to take. Galliard down, Jovenel down, Kenanal down. This is when Darkspawn will win this fight. They're looking for the engage, but the Bulldogs are respecting. They back off pretty heavily.
Able to clear out the minions for the moment in this mid lane, and now they're running towards that Baron. They have a lot to work with. There's so much that Bulldog are down on, but they can still just run into the base. There's no teleport available. Baron getting started up. Look for Cornel. He's been a hero this game. Spots him out of the scries. Half HP. The Void Seeker lands onto fast lane. Cornel comes in with a flag and drag. They use the Ornhorn. PFI is instantly going to be deleted as Coward gets it. Baron is still aggroed up, and we'll see who secures the Baron. It's going to be picked up by the Orn. They find the hook. Coward gets an instant deletion, but Beely still full HP. Flood is pumping feathers after feathers in, but Kogi has gone in, and he's gone down. And somehow Darkspawn come up huge. Cornel, the only one to stand, but he's being chased down by absolutely everyone.
Yeah, and the Baron crucially going over to Darkspawn means even if Cornel try to run to the base and then there's no chance of him doing this, he's going to head over, but buddy, your base is going to fall apart. Yeah, Beely's going to recall. He understands that his TP is up as well, so he would be able to come straight back. They are going to look to end here. Actually, the 50's coming through.
Onto the base race. Cornel's trying to make his way there. He's got that flag and drag. He can't quite get it. He's going to be just way too slow. And with this, Darkspawn go down as they take the first game. Bulldog are 0-1 now.
And what a comeback from Darkspawn. Bulldog were just in complete control. I felt like they had the easier to execute composition, but Beely was monstrous on this rise. You're up against a Kaiser Azir in the late game. You should think those champions just scale so well. They're great team fighters. The engage from the rest of them is just absolutely huge. But it was just so monstrous from Beely. 8-1-7 on that rise. Destroying people.
Beely looks so good. And I had questions about Beely during the regular split. He just completely squashed any kind of questions I have because he came up huge. He saved the day for Bulldogs and gave them that game 1 victory. It's scary, though, because now if you're Darkspawn, you lose the next game, you let Beely get that rise again, and you're potentially looking at being knocked out.
Yeah, and I'm just flabbergasted, because I said Calwood was the player to watch on Bulldog, PFI the player to watch on Darkspawn, but it flipped. Cornel had such great engage on that Jarvan throughout the game, but crucially, Beely on this rise just, you know, must have been part of the Blue Man group because he looked at home on this champion, murdering everyone in front of him and just positioning flawlessly against a composition that has so many tools to engage, so much lockdown. It's so difficult to play in that environment, and he just did it flawlessly.
It was Will Smith's genie. He gave them that wish and gave them that game 1 back from the jaws of defeat. But there's still more to play here. There's still more to go as Darkspawn, they need to win more. Bulldog, they need to win more. They still need one more game here for Darkspawn if they want to be able to pull this out.
And crucially, remember, if Bulldog lose this next game, they are out the UKLC. So there's so much to play for, but they gave it that all in that game. You can see both teams doing everything they could to win it. I think we're going to have a pretty heavy series on our hands.
This is going to be such an exciting series. I mean, Series 1, that was great. That was exciting. We had a new team join the UKLC.
I like that, but I like this more.
This is so good. I mean, what a back and forth. Those team fights were explosive. They were exciting. There was so much going on. And it was just so many little micro things. So, like, one player would be key for one team while the other one was key for the other. And it was just so down to the wire. But we're going to take a moment to reset coming out of that relegation game. And obviously, we got more to come. So don't go anywhere, because after the break, we'll be finding out if Darkspawn are just going to be able to take themselves a 2-0 over Bulldog, or if Bulldog can show their teeth and come back in game 2.